I'm DelusionDispeller. With more, think up before you link up. How about work? Does your significant other have a job? Have they ever had a job? What types of jobs have they worked? Do they believe in working? Are they okay with you working? Do they like the type of work you do? Are they skilled enough to prosper at what they do? All these things, again, are things you want to ask yourself. It is highly important before you link up, or even if you are linked up, that you know who your husband or your wife is working with and for. Get to know their boss. Get to know their employees that they work with, their fellow co-workers is what I was looking for. Go to the company picnics. Go to the company parties. Meet people. Meet and greet. Fraternize. Talk. Get to know who you're dealing with here. Because chances are your spouse is going to be spending more time away from you and at that job than with you. And you need to know who they're talking with, who they like, who they don't like, who their boss is, who their co-boss is, whatever. You don't know how many people I've talked to, women in narcissistic relationships, or men, but usually women, and I'll ask them, well, didn't you know that your husband was, in this situation with this boss? Well, no, I don't know anybody he works with. You need to know his coworkers or her coworkers. Get to know the person. Get to know everything about him. I know this seems kind of like nitpicky. Like, well, I don't really want to get into their personal life. It's going to be your personal life too. So get into it. It's a good idea. Before it ends up destroying everything once you're already stuck in the relationship. Find all of this out. Find out their interactions with other people. You're going to get to know that person that you're with by watching how they relate to other people. Because how they treat others is often very much how they're going to treat you. Sometimes not. Sometimes they're better to other people than they are to you. But if you could find out that maybe they're going to have a problem with you because they're just like that with everybody, wouldn't you want to know that? I would. Okay. So yes, get to know their coworkers, get to know their bosses, know who they're with, know where they go, know what their work entails. Find out all this. Do your homework. The next thing is family. Do you know your significant other's family? This goes for kind of the same thing I just said. Get to know how they interact with other people. Do they get along with their mother and their father? Do they have problems with their mother and their father? Were their mother and father abusive to them? Were they absent from them? Were they emotionally neglectful towards them? What are their parents' beliefs about family, about relationships? Would they approve of them seeing you? You don't want to be somebody's dirty little secret. I've already done that once in my life, and it is not pleasant. Get to know the people that your significant other is with. Family, friends, and everybody else in between. Very important on that. Okay. How does their family treat you? You're going to get to know their family, first of all, right off the bat after you know them for a while. So once you know them and you've met their family, does their family seem to like you? Do they resent you? Do they have an issue with your race or something about you? Are there going to be problems afterwards? You really don't want to marry into a relationship where you are going to be the prosecuted or persecuted one through the whole entire relationship. Especially if your significant other is not willing to cut the ties with the family in order to be with you. So think about that before you link up with them. Okay. How does the family treat them? Like I said, were they abusive? But now that they're older and they're an adult, are they still abusive with them? Do they still make little cutting, nasty remarks to them? Do they say things to you like, oh, what would you want with him? He's just an old loser anyway. Or her. Well, she never did anything for herself in life. I can't believe you'd pick up with somebody like her. We've been trying to work with her for years and it hasn't worked. Maybe you can have better luck with her. You don't want to be dealing with that stuff. If you see your significant other being put down by family, then you really ought to take a step back and decide whether you want to be part of that family or just be a really close friend that they can fall back on when things go haywire. All right. Stay tuned for the next video. Thanks.